the quarter-finals. Both players have, well, both started pretty nervously, but both players have played well here and there since. Just the odd mistake here and there, that's all that's really cost them, and at this standard, that will happen. But Judd Trump-potted a terrific last red in the fourth frame, which ended up being key to him winning it. So here we go again, O'Sullivan to break in frame 5.
Well, it was some distance away from that one, and that's the worst thing that could have happened for him, busting the reds wide open and the cue ball going in the pocket. Black's available to the right corner, and I wouldn't be surprised as we look at the shot again if Ronnie O'Sullivan doesn't immediately come down for the black. Well, not sure what he played there. Don't understand why he didn't just drop it in for the black. Attempted to come back up for the blue again and found the kiss. Well, that's a great recovery shot from where he was.
6.
Not on the red ideally. And played that one well as well. Now there is a red just to the right of the black. If he can hold for that one, that gets him back onto the black. Use the black there to play position for the blue. Well, must have felt he couldn't hold for the red next to the black.
$30.
Now I've got choices, the black or the blue.
$20. $21.
Doesn't want to go through the gap.
28. $29.
O'Sullivan 105 centuries behind Stephen Hendry on the all-time list.
37.
But he's getting closer.
I was going to say, a couple of years ago, Joe, you'd think, well, it's going to take a long time because there's so few tournaments to catch up. But now, if he plays in as many tournaments as he's played in this year, you'd think it might not take too long at all. Obviously, Hendry's still making a few, but not as many as he used to. O'Sullivan's made 30 already this season.
43.
So one more loose red down this end of the table, and then he's going to need to go into them. Well, we just caught a glimpse of the red
50.
directly above the black. That will go to the left corner. So maybe it doesn't need to go into them. And to the right of the pink is also available, especially the way that he can play the game, left-handed.
51.
But he could take the opportunity to go into them here. And that's worked out okay.
56.
You can hear a bit of noise on the other side. It's 2-2 Matthew Stevens, Ding Junhui. So Stevens has done well. He's won the last two to get himself level as they head to the interval. So
red, black, red should be enough. And that's all he needs. Going up for the blue. It's going to need another red now. After this next one, that is. Well, again, not sure what he played for there.
62.
Why didn't he play a little screw? And he'd have choice of two reds to the right corner.
63.
And 67, and 67 left. And he's potted his way out of trouble. This is going to be a big one.
68.
Highest break so far 140. Matthew Stevens.
69.
So he can't quite equal that. The centuries record that Joe mentioned earlier was actually broken last season by Mark Selby, 54 centuries in a season. O'Sullivan and Hendry previously were the only players to have made 50 or more in a season. Wouldn't want to predict what it's going to be this year.
Well, I predict that it'll be more than last year.
But I mean, it could be. You could think it could be 60 or 70 if he plays well in the new year.
And he gets far in each tournament as well, because the further you get, the more centuries you're going to make. But this is really wonderful stuff from Ronnie O'Sullivan.
88.
Judd Trump made a real flyer at the opening red, missed it by some distance,
69. And
that red broke the pack open. He went in off. Ronnie O'Sullivan has just done the business. His second shot, the one on the blue, was the shot that he needed to keep the break going, and it was a super shot. He got under the cue ball and it was close to the cushion.
95.
Somehow got that cue ball back down the table again, and this for the century.
Yes, it was either going to go one of two ways, I think, after that fourth frame, the way Trump won it. Either with the pressure on, O'Sullivan, as we've seen him here and there, get a bit fractious, or he would raise his own game. Maybe the interval helped, just that chance to sit it out for 15 minutes. He's come out all guns blazing here in this fifth frame. A terrific century. 31st of the season, 660th of his career.
109. 140.
And even with kicks, they're still going in with good position.
Foul. Judd Trump 6.
Well, everything went in there, but 114. Glorious stuff from the Rocket. Ronnie O'Sullivan back in front, an absorbing, enthralling match. He leads Judd Trump here in York by 3 frames to 2.
Morocco, the country that travels within you.
This innovation-driven car maker faced a document security problem. This global logistics company faced a problem in its dispatch document system. This European airline faced a problem of escalating document costs. To solve their problems, some of the world's most competitive businesses turned to Konica Minolta's document solutions.
Giving shape to ideas. Konica Minolta.
We're just underway again here, frame 6. Ronnie O'Sullivan leading Judd Trump 3-2. 114 the break in the last frame from O'Sullivan. Fair to say it's come to life, Joe.
Yes, it has come to life, and you just can't get enough of this match, can you? Good break-off shot there from Judd Trump. And all Ronnie O'Sullivan can do is play a containing safety shot. Well, would have liked to have seen him get that cue ball over to the left side of the table, because he could find himself in trouble here. Caught it a little bit too thin. Well, that's better. Coming over the left side of the table just makes it that little bit more difficult. Now, O'Sullivan, unless he goes for the pot, which is likely with him, has to play another containing safety shot. Trouble with going for the pot here, if he plays it slow, he's got to get it. No, just the containing safety. Now, does he want to keep the game flowing, or slow it down a little by keeping the game safety down the black end of the table? He can see the red next to the green. Wants to keep it flowing. But it has to get past the middle. Well, it's a thin one. You won't quite know where the cue ball's going, but there's a chance there. Judd Trump's cue tip, quite high. Well, he didn't know where the cue ball was going, but he thought he knew where the red was going. But it didn't go there. A half chance then for Judd Trump as we look at this thin shot again. Thin missed shot again. Difficult cueing for the red into the middle, but there is one to the left corner. I think the one to the middle's easier than the plant. Looks easy on television, but there's some distance between the two reds. Nicely played.
One.
And not a bad kiss if the green goes to the middle. Which it does. Now the two reds by the black spot. If you can get on those. Couldn't have played it any better.
4. Five.
Well, he sat out the century from O'Sullivan, but this is his chance to put a few together.
Just nudging the red away from the black spot.
12.
Allows the black to be respotted.
30.
Yeah, and we talk about the centuries O'Sullivan's had. Judd Trump's only been on the tour 6 years. He's already had 129 competitive century breaks. That's good going.
Yeah. 20.
He's just got a kick now which took the pace out of the cue ball. Meant he had to go up for the blue.
$26. 27.
Well, decided to play for the plant, but
32.
thought maybe coming into the reds might have been a better choice. Well, no, he's played for this red with the rest. Nothing wrong with this one.
$33.
Again, just come a little straight on the black. Could have been easier.
40. 41.
Doesn't need to go into them. You can just run it in, bounce off the cushion for the red in the opposite corner.
Well, it's so far so good. It's been a difficult break to make this so far.
Yes, it hasn't been straightforward at all. And even now, this is the last loose red. All the reds seem to be covering one another.
49.
Needs to get the right side of the blue though. Still not easy this. Needs a good shot. And I don't think that's it. Don't think he's come far enough for the red he played on. So now it's back to this plant. And this time he's going to have to play it. Nicely done.
55.
Yes, and it was typical of Trump. There was no backing away, was there?
61.
So this
62.
pink to lead by 68 with 67 on. What a great response. Good break.
Good snooker from both players.
Yes, it's a great pleasure and privilege to watch players like this
69.
playing at the top of their games. You know, great events such as the UK Championship, and it's wonderful to see this Barbican packed out for it. And they can all watch because, of course, there's no wall between tables.
$76.
Well, it's not a century in reply from Trump, but 76 is enough to draw level once again. What a battle, and what great stuff it is between these two. O'Sullivan's 114 put him 3-2 up. Trump has responded with 76. Well, level again. It's 3 frames all.
Hyundai, official partner of UEFA Euro 2012.
Amigo, the first word I learned in Spanish. I don't need to think about it twice. I don't need it to be mine. I don't need to chat. I don't need cable television. I don't need to wait for the weekend. I need to return. I need Spain.
Hyundai, official partner of UEFA Euro 2012.
Frame 7, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break 3-3 with Judd Trump. There's never been more than a frame between them. First to 6 goes into the quarterfinals, and a meeting with either John Higgins or Stephen Maguire. Doesn't get any easier, does it, for whoever comes through. Well, he's lining this one up.
Yes, and he's got it this time.
1.
And he's not bad on the blue as we look at this long red again.
Well, I guess 44% is not that high, really, for long pot success.
Yeah, he seems to have potted more than that, doesn't he?
But the key thing is it's potting the crucial ones. Did miss a few in the first frame.
7.
So, for the blue, he's the right side. He's had a look at the red just to the left of the black to see if it goes into the right corner. If it does, that would be the red to play for. Just a little hard.
12.
Well, that's tight. He's played for that. Well, it goes, and he's got it. Well, there wasn't much room there, was there?
Never been ahead. He was 1-0 down. He was 2-1 down. He was 3-2 down.
21.
Lots of left-hand side, sorry, right-hand side on the cue ball. Take him across for the red. Hasn't quite come far enough to come back onto the black or get close to the black. He's had a look at the pink.
29.
See if he can disturb something. I'm not sure how much he can disturb from there. Maybe the black's the ball. Well, he wouldn't have that one over, except that the red has just gone to block the black going into the corner pockets.
35.
How did he generate the power to bust them with that small angle he had?
36.
And the red just to the right of the pink. Needs to miss the blue. And he could have done with coming a few more inches. Might be better to play the other one with the rest. Although at this stage, doesn't really want to bring the black into play. How confident was that?
41.
And that's just to be sure. The other one going in.
Well, it takes 8 points off the table, doesn't it? Which is all to the good for him. Well, he's a great talent, Judd Trump. I first saw him play when he was 10 years old. He won the English under-15 national title in Gateshead. Obviously, he was so small then, he needed the rest for most shots, but you could see in him, he had a competitive edge, and he was obviously learning as a player, but even then he was some talent. Look at him now.
Well, no wonder he can play with the rest so well then, because that was one of the best rest shots I've seen. And it was against Ronnie O'Sullivan. Could have lost the frame had that not gone in.
54.
Yeah, that's the thing though, Joe, isn't it? They start playing so young. I think Judd was 5 years old when he first picked up a cue, so he's had a lifetime of playing. All the junior events as well at the weekends that his dad drove him to. Got used to winning at a pretty young age too, and here he is needing one more
60.
ball here, and it looks like he'll be 4-3 up. And he would have grown up watching Ronnie O'Sullivan on television and admiring him and wanting to emulate him. Could still do with another red here, because it's only 2 snookers needed.
66.
Never in doubt, was it?
67.
Terrific shot again. Using the other red to screw back for the pink. Played with a lot of right hand side to check that cue ball back down the table again. Yes, it's an exhibition shot, but it's what we like to see.
Well, he's like O'Sullivan. He knows that this game is also about entertaining.
74.
What a talent. Well, he's ahead for the first time in the match, and he's played 2 excellent frames. O'Sullivan had his century in the 5th frame. Trump made 76 in the last. And this is another excellent break in frame 7. He's rediscovering that crucible form that got him to within 3 frames last season of becoming world champion. It was only a great John Higgins performance that denied him in the final, 18-15. And he earned himself a huge army of new fans on the way.
$96.
They just can't keep out, can they? What a terrific yellow that was, and great position to get back onto the green. Wonderful stuff.
Green for the century. That's a shame.
98.
But there was nothing wrong with the 98. And there's nothing wrong with Judd Trump's game right now. He is standing up to this and then some. The young man from Bristol ahead in the match for the first time. He leads Ronnie O'Sullivan here at York by 4 frames to 3.
Your goal for Euro 2012.
When we said we would take a video gamer and turn him into a competitive racing driver, they said we were crazy. Nissan GT Academy drove Lucas Ordonez from his sofa to the endurance race in Dubai and to the number 2 spot at the Le Mans 24 Hours. Who's crazy now? Because at Nissan, we believe unconventional thinking is a winner.
Well, Judd Trump's just broken off here in frame 8. He leads Ronnie O'Sullivan 4-3. He's played 2 excellent frames, breaks of 76 and 98. They both could have been centuries. He just missed the green there at the end of the 7th frame. But he's ahead in the match for the first time, and he needs 2 more frames for victory. It's 2-2 Ding Junhui, Matthew Stevens on the other table. That's live now on Eurosport 2. Average frame time has come down to just under 13 minutes. Well, he was very close to that one.
Yes, not sure if he really wanted it in. The cue ball's better there. And nothing between the shot time for either player.
Well, bearing in mind the first frame was half an hour, and yet the average frame time is now just under 13 minutes. O'Sullivan hasn't potted a ball for 19 minutes.
Big frame this one for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Doesn't want to see Judd Trump go to 5. Now come off the right side cushion, land up into the reds, and let Ronnie O'Sullivan have the problem. Well, he wants to take this red onto the left middle, but it's such a difficult pot. Well, he's decided to play the safety. Doesn't want the kiss. Could be a stalemate this, but at the moment they're playing on. Touch and ball was called, and that's where to get that cue ball. And for me, it can only come off the side cushion here, land up into them. Anything else is crazy. Well, he's left a half chance here. Into the balk and into the left corner. Can he be tempted? I'm sure David Henry would say of course he can.
Well, he'll be tempted. That's a question of whether he'll take it on. Looks like he is.